Hey, I'm Marcus from Ideapaint, and I'm here with Gene from Johnston Painting Company, and we're going to be transforming this wall into a high-performance dry erase writing surface with Ideapaint Pro. But before we start painting, let's talk a little bit about prep, because remember, Ideapaint can only be as smooth as the surface you apply it to. So Gene, why don't you take us through the prep?
Well, I prepped this wall the same way I would for any other premium painting product, but like Marcus said, my emphasis had to be on smoothness. We want a level 5 finish so a marker can easily go over it, which can be done with your usual prep products, compound, what have you. Then we applied the appropriate primer and we profiled with just standard blue tape.
Great. So we also have to remember ventilation. Ideapaint Pro does have a strong odor, but it fully dissipates within 24 hours. So make sure you properly ventilate the area in accordance with the Ideapaint instructions.
Alright, I've opened my Ideapaint Pro kit. They've made it nice and easy for me. I got an opener, I have my stir stick, I have my A and B parts, which they've labeled this and that, and they've also included a roller. And as with any roller, I'm going to make sure that roller is clean by tacking it with some blue tape. Now all I need to do is just mix these two parts together. I'm going to stir them with the included stir stick, and I'm going to be ready to cut in. Alright, I'm going to start getting my edging done with a foam roller. You can use a foam brush if you prefer. I like to start away from the wall and work my way in so I don't create any high spots. I'm going to do about a 3-foot section because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself where it's a 2-component system. I don't want it to tack up on me. I want to keep my edge wet. Now I'm going to switch to my 9-inch roller that they supplied me with in the kit. Again, I don't want to start on my wet edge. I want to work my way towards it so I get a nice even consistency. I don't want high spots, I don't want lap marks. I want to work in 3-foot sections from the wall to ceiling, or wall to the top of where I profiled with the blue tape. So remember, inspect your work as you go. If you see any debris in your finish, you can just simply pick it off with your finger and touch it up with your roller, and you're good to go. So my first section's done. I'm going to pick up my foam roller that I was using for cutting in, and I'm going to move another 3-foot section along. Alright, I'm applying the Ideapaint Pro with probably moderate pressure. And I don't want to run my roller too dry. We want to get a decent amount of product on the wall because that's what's going to help it level later. And it also covers great, but we don't want to work against ourselves by applying it too thin. So you notice I go back to my pan probably a little more often than you would with a typical latex wall paint. Alright, it looks like we're about done. I'm just checking my work over. I'm looking for any debris, any sags, high spots, lap marks, but everything looks great. The only other thing I want to stress is we want to get our blue tape off, whatever tape we use for profiling, while the product's still good and wet, because we don't want to pull the product. If the product starts to dry and we pull our tape, we could damage our finish. So I'm going to get that off right now while we have plenty of time.
So Gene, the wall looks great. Remember, there's a 7-day cure period for Ideapaint, so don't write on the surface before it's fully cured. Gene, do you have any other tips for painters?
Just the things we've been talking about. We want to start with a smooth surface. We want to keep a wet edge, so we cut as we go, and we want to keep our tools nice and clean. Keep these things in mind. You'll always have a successful installation, and your customers will always be happy.
That's great. Well, thank you. We hope that this was a helpful video for you. And be sure to check us out online for other helpful tips and exciting uses of Ideapaint.